All right, everybody, let me welcome you to Vaughn.
Hey, what's up?
Podcast
Vaughn
show.
Cast Show. How's it going, man? Hey, Paul, Nacho.
Hey.
How'd you have the name Nacho?
Nacho. It's my last name. My last name is Libre. No one ever says Libre. It's always Libre.
I thought it was Libre.
Yeah. It's an easy misunderstanding. But then as I was learning how to tattoo, I heard they love that movie with Jack Black. So
That's a
here I
good
am.
one.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Pauls, no Nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
Right.
expects me to be of like a Hispanic orientation.
Yeah.
Like something when they
What's
come
Nacho?
in. Yeah, they've never met me before. I'm here to see Nacho.
Yeah, I remember the first day you worked at the shop, you were at Angel Station, like, wait, where'd Angel go?
Mm-hmm. I'm the new angel.
Yeah, Nacho. Alright, so give us the audience a brief intro about who you are and what you do, man.
Well, I am Paul Nacho Libre, and I'm a tattoo artist. I work in Northridge, California.
Mm. Cool, man. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in West Hollywood.
Mhm.
Jumped around a little bit from West Hollywood out here to Tarzana area, out here in the valley. Back to West Hollywood. Moved to Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, man. When you were growing up, did you want to be like an astronaut, firefighter, president? Did you have any aspirations?
None of those huge aspirations, like none of that. That seemed always a little too serious. I was a very just easygoing, fun kid. So bike riding, skateboarding.
Okay.
I wanted to play hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I was very good at hockey. I played on a lot of teams, different leagues, won some trophies.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized hockey players are humongous, and I'm a tiny guy, and I'd get killed.
What did the movie Mighty Ducks have an influence in your hockey?
Oh, the Mighty Ducks? Yeah, I always wanted to be like that main character, Charlie. Yeah,
Charlie.
I always wanted to be Charlie. I wanted to jump and rollerblade through fountains.
Yeah.
And always be extreme, and you know.
I
think it was also because he had the single mom and I had the single mom,
Yeah.
and like I related to him.
I like the Bash Brothers.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
cool.
they were
They're
good. The
cool.
Knuckle Puck.
Yeah. Cool.
I watched every single one of those movies. They were fun.
Third one was okay.
Yeah.
The first two was my favorite.
Still watchable though.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So, did you always have a knack for art, or is that something you did at a young age, or
As far as I can remember, I was always doodling.
doodling?
Taking it seriously was later on in life, but yeah, always sitting there with a napkin in front of me and some crayons, or at a restaurant they give you the things to color.
I remember that.
Always, every night. I still do it to my kid. Like we'll go somewhere, and like we just went to BJ's restaurant the other day,
Yeah.
and they gave him this thing to color, and I just took it. I started coloring and everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you draw as a kid? Were you drawing like X-Men characters, like Mickey Mouse?
Yeah. My doodles when I was like younger that I can't even remember doing. I know I did them, but I don't know what those were. But I remember like for the holidays when I was really young, I would draw Santa Claus on a card, fold it, give it to people for the holidays, Easter bunnies, things that related to holidays. And then eventually as I grew up, I started getting into comic books. So yeah, Spider-Man was one of my favorites.
Right.
So I was always tracing Spider-Man comics. I had a huge box full, so I would just pull one out and literally put paper over it and trace it. And that's turned into like me trying to redraw them, never being obviously as good as a comic book artist, but yeah, it transitioned into painting and other kinds of artwork. I'd stay up late at night probably like when I was after high school, but before I even moved to Vegas. I remember my mom would go to work early, and I'd stay up all night and draw pictures, and she'd get up in the morning to go to work, and I'd show her like, this is what I drew last night. I'm going to bed. I would just like go pass out.
Did you ever, when you were a kid, did you ever trace stuff and say, oh, I drew this?
Maybe a few times.
Yeah, I don't know as a kid. Oh, look what I did. Oh, no,
Yeah.
the tracing paper's obvious.
You learn, like, especially as the internet became a part of our lives as I got older. People know, like, seen that before. You didn't come up with that.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah. I think everyone does that.
I think I tried my hand at art. The only thing with me with drawing is I drew too fast. I just wanted to see the end result and didn't focus on the basics and taking your time.
Yeah.
I wanted to just color it and like finish it, whereas you're supposed to like take your time and shit.
Yeah. As an apprentice, they made me trace. They made me go in a drawer, pull out a new set of flash, and trace all of it. It was more not like to claim as my own or anything like that. It was more just like learn how to have a steady hand. And if there's a line there, you want to put your line right over it. You don't want it to go off, stray, change the shape of anything.
Yeah.
So for a while there, I was just sitting there tracing, which kind of sucks, but
you learn how to draw stuff.
yeah, it makes you better.
Did you enjoy high school? Did you have any favorite subjects? Or were you just
I liked art class.
Art class, obvious. Okay.
I liked PE,
PE is fun.
but I didn't really care about any classes.
I liked art.
At the time time I was into skateboarding and surfing,
Okay.
and I was at the beach almost every morning with my friend Aaron. We'd show up to class at like third period, so never really even there half the time.
Which
We'd always
beach?
leave early to go skateboard. Usually Venice or Malibu or
Okay.
somewhere wherever the waves were crashing.
So you got into like sports as in biking, skating, or BMX skating. What age was that?
I think I rode my first surfboard when I was 6.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I was really good, like natural balance. So surfing, skateboarding came very natural. I was into rollerblading and hockey first, but then my mom married my stepfather, and he introduced me to skateboarding.
Oh, nice.
And I ditched the blades, and I
Really?
was a skateboarder after that, and I got really good pretty quick. I used to skate for a couple teams, like amateur, like it was nothing big, you know. But
back then it was the shit.
yeah, here and there, and yeah, I loved it.
Oh,
I was always outside, so.
That's cool, man.
And then I learned how to snowboard later on, and
It's weird learning if you go from skateboarding to snowboarding because you rotate with the back.
oh yeah, you can't kick the board away.
Yeah.
It's just like, this thing stuck to
you're
me.
attached, man.
Yeah. and you-
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Did you have skating? What was your first deck? Do you remember?
My first skateboard deck was World Industries.
Nice.
The Flame Boy and the Wet Willie shooting, and the World Industry logo
Yeah.
in the middle.
That was the shit, man.
Yeah.
That blind, shorties. What kind of skating style did you gravitate towards? Were you like doing like pools, or were you street skater?
I was a street skater.
Uh-huh.
As I got older, I got more into like riding bowls and transition and vert and stuff, but I was never really that great at it. You know, like I can go in a half pipe, I can cruise around, but you don't see me flying out of that thing. You won't see me doing any kind of crazy grabs or grinds. But
Did you
also, I can't now, because if I fall and hurt my hands, I'm done.
That's true. Did you have any skaters that you looked up to?
I looked up to,
Or like, oh
man.
shit, I wanna.
Eric Costin.
He's a shit.
Yeah, I love Eric Costin growing up. Chad Muska.
Yeah.
He was great. He actually lived like in West Hollywood, close to where I was. So I saw him skating all the time. Yeah, there were a few times where he invited groups of kids to his warehouse to skate.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Did you
always
ever
fun. I went one time, but not really. It wasn't like, it wasn't all the time.
Right.
Paul Rodriguez was always someone I respected as a skater.
I remember like he was at the time he was like the youngest. He was really young.
Oh, yeah.
He was, I don't know how old he was when he got signed.
14,
14.
13.
Yeah.
Like Nigel Houston was like 8
Yeah.
when he got signed.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me.
Yeah. So any tricks that you're proud of doing? Like what was like the trick? What was it for? Oh, obviously you ollied. How long did it take you to learn how to ollie?
Ollies were pretty quick.
Really?
Everything after that took a while. Like kick flipping. I remember just being in my backyard for probably 6 hours at a time every day, trying to kick flip over a can of soda.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You already did that already, moving and everything.
Yeah, I figured the kids throwing themselves down staircases weren't standing still, so I needed to learn how to do it
That's smart.
moving, you know.
I
And
tried
then
to
it made it easier standing still.
I tried to kickflip on grass.
Yeah, that's
Were-
good.
Were you a kickflip person or a heel flip person? Some people say
Kickflip.
one's harder than ours.
Yeah, I still can't really heel flip that great.
It's tough. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I'd rather like throw a 360 flip than a hard flip.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
than a heel flip. Yeah.
So a 360 flip is a kickflip and a pop shove it?
No, and a 360 rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
So, what was your first tattoo, or what made you want to get a tattoo?
Well, besides the art influences of the skateboarding world, I wanted my first tattoo to kind of represent me. It was the head of a lion. It was a Leo. I'm a Leo. I figured that's never going to change as well, because people always tell you, like, give it a lot of thought. It's going to be on your body forever. And I did. I actually, when I turned 18, I still didn't go get a tattoo. I waited till I was 19 to get my first tattoo. So I put a lot of thought into it. I made mistakes of getting it from the wrong place, the wrong person. You know, it's covered up now.
Yeah.
But, it was a learning experience for sure. My first tattoo, lion head. Yeah.
Were your parents cool with tattoos, or whatever?
Yeah, my mom took me
Oh, really?
to the guy's garage to get my
Oh.
first tattoo. Yeah,
Garage.
she sat over in the corner.
Nice.
And was she took me to get piercings.
Cool, man.
Before I could get tattooed, when I got tattooed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know when I got my first lip piercing, my family was freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like obvious and it was unorthodox at the time. It was 2006, back when that whole lip piercing wave came in.
Oh yeah, the Blink-182 phase.
Yeah, the emo shit.
The eyebrows and lip rings.
I remember the eyebrows, man. That's I don't know. What made you want to like go from I want to get a tattoo, I like getting tattoos, to I want to start doing tattoos?
That took a while.
Really?
That took a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I moved to Las Vegas at a point, and still only had that one tattoo that was done in the guy's garage, which was kind of embarrassing because it wasn't even a good tattoo. And lived in areas around tattoos. There's a lot of tattoo shops in Vegas, so I started going in there and kind of checking out the scene, showing them that I'm an artist as well. And I got another tattoo in a shop by a professional. And it was a good experience. It didn't hurt as bad as the first time I got it done. It was a lot more beautiful. So that kind of sparked an interest in it. And I had a really good job at the time. I was working for the Blue Man Group in Las Vegas as like a production assistant. Yeah, so I was doing that. So I was getting paid really well. And on my off time, I was still always drawing and always doing artwork for people. And the guy at the tattoo shop kind of like, hey, you should look into this. Like, you kind of have a knack for it. You know, if you learn how to do the style of tattooing, then you could have something going. And that sparked it a little more. It wasn't until a few years later where I lost my job, and I was collecting like benefits through the government, and I figured now is the time. Like, if they're gonna pay for me to make it, then I'm gonna do something, like learn a trade. Like it's always the best time to do something like that. Kind of take a leap.
Leap of faith.
Yeah.
Jamie Thomas.
Yeah, hope it works out.
Yeah. Alright, so how did you go from, becoming a production assistant for the Blue Man Group? At the time, that was a pretty big, well-known group.
Oh yeah.
That was the shit.
Everyone that works there, even the people who work downstairs in the offices, are crazy talented. Like the musicians, the people who are ushers, in their spare time, they're like some of the most amazing musicians I've ever met as well. So everyone was always very positive towards art, and so they always saw like me and my best friend Max at the time were always drawing, and they were always encouraging it, like, you need to do something with your guys' art, you need to sell it, do art shows. Tattooing was kind of big for both of us. We were getting them at the time, and I think also the tattoo artists telling us that we should try it out. I think it really like kind of sparked something. Like, we encouraged each other. He apprenticed first before I did, and he went through a lot of shit, but then in the end he was doing what he was passionate about and loved, and I was like, that's what I want to do. So it took a while. It was a 2-year apprenticeship of learning how to tattoo, so it wasn't something that came quick and easy. It wasn't just like, tomorrow I'm gonna go and get a tattoo machine and I'm gonna start tattooing people. Even though a lot of people do that, it's not the way to do it.
So describe, I guess, the traditional aspect of being an apprentice and how to get one. Is it something that you ask for, or is it just like someone has to ask you?
The old ways was kind of the people asking you, like picking you, like, you come around a lot, you get tattooed by us, you know what the world inside of a tattoo shop is like. I want to give you this opportunity, is what it was. Like, that's how the old school mentality is. I did have to ask for my apprenticeship. I went to a bunch of tattoo shops with a big portfolio of art to show them, like, this is what I do and I'm capable of as of right now. I got turned down by several tattoo shops. I met a guy named Eddie who owned a couple different tattoo shops in Vegas. He was really nice. He sent me over to one shop, told them to give me a chance. And so I went there, and they kind of tested me a little bit. They're like, all right, sit down and draw us a koi fish. Those are really hard to draw. But it wasn't, they didn't want to see a perfect koi fish. They wanted to see me not get shook and just present them with something. So
Japanese traditional koi fish?
Yeah, kind of, once you get in a shop and you're an apprentice, it's kind of like you're the shop bitch. Like, you have to clean everything, make sure the shop is spotless, clean toilets every morning, mop the shop every single day, make sure that whatever they need, if it's paper towels, if it's dental bibs, if it's plastic wrap, that they have it and it's ready to go. They don't have to ask for it.
You also have to go through take that pathogen test every month.
Well, every tattoo artist and apprentice, before they can touch anything that's gonna touch somebody's skin, they have to learn about bodily fluids and diseases, cross-contamination, bloodborne pathogens, all that. Yeah, there's a lot of, when you're paying for a tattoo and you're like, oh my God, $120 an hour, it's not just because we're giving you a piece of art on your bodies, because we know that we're not gonna give you infections, we're not gonna cross-contaminate, we're not gonna give you hepatitis. You're getting the knowledge that we've spent years learning, and
so
always correcting so that you don't get infections and get sick.
Is that why sometimes doing tattoos at home or like an unsanitary place is discouraged and often looked down upon, because you know, you don't have it. I mean, I'm at a tattoo shop. I used to be there more often, but I know it's like fucking spotless. Like y'all mop, everything's clean. There's like y'all are very stringent about pathogens and everything.
Yeah, if you're tattooing somewhere in a garage, there's no way that you can completely ensure that the area is gonna be sterile and clean. You don't, I mean, you can be a professional tattoo artist working in your garage, but you don't have as easy access getting supplies. Like supply companies and tattoo companies aren't gonna ship things to your house.
Yeah.
They wanna ship it to a professional business.
Right.
So like everything we order, it gets sent to our shop because they wanna verify that we work for a real shop. You can Google us and see that we're a real shop.
Gotcha.
If you're working in your garage, they're not gonna wanna send it to you. You know, I'm sure people have ways of getting their things.
Yeah.
But like, how do I know that when they're done tattooing me, even if they wrapped the whole area in plastic, like a Dexter kill room, how do I know they're still gonna sterilize it with the proper sterilization, like, you know, soaps and stuff that we use? So,
True.
like, you never know.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. If you come to a shop, we have it all laid out there and you can see.
We have certificates too.
So, yeah, exactly.
So you got you became an apprentice. Other than doing the menial labor as, you know, cleaning and toilets and like prepping, what was the process of like being an apprentice? Did you just have to draw, like you said earlier, just trace a bunch of stuff? And when was the first time you were allowed to tattoo someone or yourself?
So me personally, I mean, everyone's apprenticeship is different. Mine personally, I dedicated like 9 months to a shop, and I pretty much was only cleaning. They were starting to teach me about cross-contamination, but the thing was, everyone that worked there were really young in their tattoo careers, so they only had been tattooing 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So they're still learning everything, they're still trying to get it. Because of that, there got to a point where they were like, we're not really sure how to finish teaching you the rest of what we're supposed to be teaching you, so we think it would be best if you went to like another shop.
Right.
And so they technically fired me from my apprenticeship, I guess you could say. It wasn't for any stupid reason, it was kind of,
That's smart.
they kind of gave up on wanting to teach me how to tattoo.
Yeah.
So I can't be super mad at it, but it sucks really bad, especially after 9 months, you know? And so I felt like I had to start over. But my friend Max I mentioned earlier introduced me to who became like my mentor. It was Bradley Pauly out in Las Vegas at Last Chance Tattoo. He took me in, he was like, I know you can draw because you've been drawing for 9 months, all tattoo stuff. I want you to learn how to paint. Painting is very similar to tattooing in the way that you blend the colors out, and you want to make sure your line work is crisp and clean with a paintbrush, which takes time, just like a needle takes time. When you're scribbling colored pencils and stuff, you're just scribbling. So he wanted me to learn like the discipline of it, and then within 6 months he had me tattooing. He had me bringing my friends in, doing small things, lettering, stars. I did little turtles, you know, like logos of teams, stuff that like was laid out and ready to go. It wasn't necessarily like big things that I could draw myself yet at the time. It was more of like, here's a little fish, go tattoo it on that person. So
Like
eventually,
watercolor painting kind of stuff, or just like
watercolor painting, liquid acrylics and stuff. Yeah.
Did you tattoo yourself first or your friends first?
I had to tattoo myself. I had 7 different people standing over me watching me tattoo my own thigh.
How was that?
It was a little nerve-wracking, but I was very excited. Like, this is what I wanted, so any step towards progression, especially when you go months at a time of just the same routine of cleaning and doing the same thing, cleaning, doing the same thing, I was like, oh my God, they're giving me the opportunity to tattoo and hold a machine in my hand. So I tattooed a rose on my thigh, and they saw the potential, I guess. Some people, and I witnessed it by myself, will start tattooing themselves and get the shakes and get nervous, and will put the machine down and literally quit. Like, I don't think this is for me. They might come back later and try again, but I've seen people give up and not want to tattoo because they had to tattoo themselves.
It's kind of weird, right? Tattooing yourself because you're experiencing the pain, but you also have to focus. Yeah.
That was probably my least painful tattoo in my life.
Are you serious?
Because I was so excited to be able to do it.
That was my most painful
So I wasn't thinking about the pain. I was just like, oh my God, I get to do this, and I was tattooing my thigh.
That one, right?
Yeah, it's a rose on my thigh.
That's not bad for your first. How many years ago was it?
Could be better. That was 8 years ago.
I mean, like,
9 years ago.
The shading, kind of faded, but it's still clean.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go over it.
Yeah.
Wait till the 10-year mark, and I'm gonna go over it again.
Nice, man. So you were doing that. So for 9 months, after 9 months, they gave you the option of like tattooing, or you were like painting, right?
9 months, and then they fired me, and then 6 months, and he had me tattooing. Like, I went to the Nevada Health Department department, and I got my certification. And then at that point, he was like, call your friends, tell them to come get tattooed.
Is there a particular style that you gravitated towards doing? Like, I mean, it's nice to know different styles, but is there one that you particularly like doing?
I love doing traditional work. Anything that has bold outline, bright colors, the classic American traditional, you know, eagles and anchors and things like that. Yeah, Sailor Jerry. Anything I can draw myself, I definitely have more fun with. But I like to be versatile. The only thing I really don't practice a lot of is portrait work.
Yeah.
So I'm eventually gonna gravitate towards it and get better at it, but that's gonna be a slower process. But everything else I'd love to do.
You also do geometrical stuff, right?
Yeah, sacred geometry is a
That's
lot of
true.
fun. Dot work,
Yeah.
lots of line-heavy illustrative work is fun as well.
Do you have any fond memories of just like being Apprentice? Any like highlights other than like the menial labor?
We had fun,
Yeah.
definitely. Even the place that kind of dicked me over for 9 months, we still had fun. They would make me, when it was slow and they were bored, they'd make me go to the subway in the middle of lunch rush, dressed like Raggedy Ann and sing "I'm a Little Teapot."
That's funny.
Like, yeah, just fun things. They'd make me go to the store. Like, we'd always have to do shop runs, buy supplies. So if we were out of Vaseline, I'd have to go buy the Vaseline. Buy 10 big tubs of Vaseline. They'd always make me buy a really big cucumber with it, just to be awkward. It's
Yeah.
funny, like they wanted to test not just like my art, but like my personal skills. Like you gotta kind of have what it takes to be a tattooer. It's not your office job. It's not your typical retail job or anything like that. There's a lot of language. There's a lot of
just
opinions,
personality.
So, yeah, you gotta have a strong personality. You gotta be able to take some shit.
Yeah,
So, but it was fun, man. Brad, my mentor, became my best friend. I have a lot of fond memories of just like hanging out and painting with the guy. I can do that anywhere, anytime, which I think is probably the best memory you could have with somebody.
You went to Hawaii too, right? You lived in Hawaii for a little bit?
I did not live in Hawaii.
Oh.
I wanted to.
Oh, okay.
My wife and I went on our honeymoon there.
Oh, that's what it was.
I got offered a job there.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
For a really badass tattoo shop. It's called Blue Tiki. This girl Billy runs it. She's pretty badass. She's really good at tattooing.
Yeah.
But we wanted to have a kid, and we have a lot of family here, so we decided to stay back.
Yeah, okay.
Family helps when you have a kid.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
That's right. Babysitting and everything. Do you have any advice for people who want to start tattooing? Like, oh man, I either watched a show or I'm looking at these books and I want to start.
I have a few pieces of advice. Don't watch the shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch Ink Master, but don't think that's what tattooing is.
It's
Like,
not.
it's television. It's scripted. It's not going into a tattoo shop. If you want to be a tattoo artist, draw, practice, but don't tattoo until someone lets you and wants you to. Like, find somebody who wants to teach you how to tattoo. If they don't want to teach you at first, keep showing up. Like, that's kind of what a lot of people had to do. They had to just show their face. Getting tattooed helps a lot. You not only experience what it's like getting tattooed, you're in the shop for several hours at a time, so you see how people interact with other people. But it's the dedication, ultimately. If you're dedicated and your artwork speaks for itself to an extent, you can show somebody that, and if they think you have what it takes to be a tattoo artist, you're going to become a tattoo artist.
And how many years have you been tattooing?
I'm going on almost 8 years of professional tattooing. I was an apprentice for almost 2 years, and then
dedication.
8 years of series, so almost 10 years in the industry.
Yeah, that's dedication, man.
Yeah.
Any tattoo artists whose work you look up to, or?
So many. I have so many favorites in the different styles that I like. I work in a shop where I really look up to the work that everyone does, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
So not just the people I work with, but yeah, there's people all over the world. For Japanese, Mike Rubendahl and Johan, I can't even say his last name, but people not even in our country are doing some of the greatest work in the world. So it's crazy.
A lot of places in Europe.
Yeah,
Traditional.
Europeans are killing it.
They're killing the traditional. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it started here, right? Traditional started in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
American traditional did.
American
Yeah.
traditional, right? Let's see. You've been to tattoo conventions before?
I've done one.
What's that like?
Salt Lake City Tattoo Convention. It's awesome. It's a party, man. You're in a, not just a room full of tattooers now, you're in a huge convention hall full of tattooers. So it's like being with 1,000 of your best friends. Even if you don't know them, like you all share something, which is cool. So why not get along with these people that all share the same passion?
How big is your workspace that you can tattoo? I mean, it's a booth or a
in a station or at a convention, it's tight. I just did the Salt Lake one, and I was crammed all the way in a corner. I had a little barrier that separated me from the next booth, and their massage table literally poked through the barrier and came onto my side. And I didn't have any massage tables, so if somebody wanted like their ribs, I had to sprawl them out over a table. Like it's not the most like comfortable setting, but it's still fun, you know. You're not trying to tackle crazy, or at least I'm not trying to tackle these crazy giant rib cage pieces or back pieces or entire sleeves at conventions. It's more of like, let's knock out a fun little tattoo while I'm here. The people I tattooed was, it was kind of crazy. Most of the people I tattooed weren't even from Salt Lake, which is crazy. Like Salt Lake, people fly there to get tattooed by some of the tattoo artists, which is nuts. But I did it with my mentor, Bradley, and he's my best friend, so it was fun. We just hung out. You get to sell t-shirts and paintings and anything that you make that's tattoo related. You know, like I could buy a vase and I could paint something on it and I could sell it there, which is really cool.
So I've never been to a tattoo convention, but is it just to kind of to get tattooed by artists that like, you know, live from far away, but they're in your city or like nearby kind of thing? Yeah,
there's a lot of different aspects, I think, from a client's point of view. Definitely, if there's somebody you keep an eye on, let's say on Instagram, and you notice they're going to be at the tattoo convention in your town, that's a good opportunity to get a tattoo without having to travel and get tattooed by that specific person. Tattoo conventions can get the artists recognition in towns that normally they wouldn't, you know, like nobody in Salt Lake knew who I was before I was there. There might be 3 people now who live in Salt Lake who knew who I am, you know, so.
So what's the typical day-to-day for you as a tattoo artist? Like, do you wake up and you start drawing kind of thing? Or?
A day in the life of Nacho.
Yeah.
Well, I have a 16-month-old at home.
Nice.
His name is Radley, and my wife, Jessica. We wake up together every morning. My wife leaves for work. I get to hang out with my boy most of the week in the mornings. Whenever the babysitter or daycare starts, you know, I go drop them off and I head to the shop. Usually, if I have appointments that day, I have already had them drawn up either a week or a couple days beforehand. And I get there to the shop, unlock, sterilize the entire shop. We clean, you know, the bathrooms, we mop, we sweep, we do our paperwork, we make sure everything's set and ready to go for the day, and that you guys are going to come in and have a good experience. Get the station set up and sanitized, ready to go. Wait for the tattoo appointment to show up, and then I get to draw on people, which is awesome, dude. It's fun. We just joke around all day. We laugh with each other and we make fun of Angel, and we just try to give everyone a good experience. Not just people who are coming in, but ourselves as well. So we spend a lot of time, the 5 of us, in one room all day. So like, it's a fun atmosphere. We encourage anyone to come by and just hang out if they want to see what it's like in a tattoo shop.
You know, I purposely go to the bathroom at a video game store because I'm scared shitless I'm going to scare them when I walk out.
We don't usually do that to clients, but you're not quite a client anymore. You're the homie and you come in, so we've scared the guys from the smoke shop. There's been times where like, because there's 3 guys that work there, and one of them will already be in the bathroom, so the one will have to pee, so he'll come running over to our shop, like, can I use your bathroom? Like, go ahead. We like to scare. They have never tried to do it on me yet.
That's funny, you're right.
I'm going to be there for a year next month, and in that year, they have not tried to scare me coming out of the bathroom
I think what it is, they only scare people who scare people. If that makes sense. Like, Matt is always very, like, he walks out like very vigilant with his karate stance.
He's ready to kick you in the nuts.
I don't want to scare him.
They're all on high defense. I come walking out of the bathroom like, you know, ready to go, but they've never tried to scare me.
And the times I go to the bathroom there, when I'm done, I open the door, I wait. I look around, I like wait, listen to any noise. crazy out there.
I've got a few good scares.
Yeah, on tape or on our phones.
Or you gotta sometimes do it, like, they'll expect it out of the bathroom, so you gotta wait till they walk, like, to the halfway point of the shop and then jump out at them.
That's true.
They're really not expecting it.
Yeah,
It's fun, like, I do it to my wife all the time at home, too.
Oh my God, that's done, man.
Keeping people alive and on their toes.
That's true. Very true.
Get that heart pumping a little bit.
Yeah. Are there any misconceptions about tattoos or becoming a tattoo artist that you may want to like kind of demystify?
I'm sure there's a million misconceptions about tattooing, but
A few that maybe.
I'd say one is from a client's point of view. You know, if they watch a lot of shows like Ink Master and they see these people getting like the whole outer part of their arm done. You know, sure, this show says it takes 6 hours, but who knows how long those tattoos really do take.
Oh, really?
And if you want a good, big tattoo, it's going to take sometimes several sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So the misconception is that they're going to get this big piece of art in one sitting in a couple hours, and it's only going to cost them $200.
Yeah.
You know, that's I think one of the biggest misconceptions lately is everyone thinks they can just get it right then and there, and it can be this huge, big masterpiece that doesn't require any planning. You know, there's a lot that goes into just doing one tattoo, whether it's small or big.
Yeah.
So I think TV shows are putting a lot of misconceptions out there.
Maybe social media. Possibly.
Almost making us seem like bullies sometimes too. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I personally have walked into a shop where I didn't get treated the best, but you know, that was that one shop. Most other shops I've been in, it's not like a biker gang sitting there hanging out trying to tattoo you. It's like just a bunch of friends sitting in a room, you know, making art.
It can get intimidating when I first started going to tattoo shops, going to different ones. I got cool with Cat House, I went there for like 10 years.
Yeah.
But then going to different ones, I get this vibe like, you know, what you want. But it's part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I
one
think,
truth, you're not gonna feel that way. Like, you're gonna feel welcomed and like, we're already friends when you come into the shop, cause we're all nice people. We're covered in tattoos, but that doesn't make us punks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe Angel, but, no, I'm just kidding.
No.
No, we're not criminals. We're all good people. We love the art and we wear it.
Yeah.
So maybe that intimidates people. I see a lot of people who just look at me like, I don't wanna talk to that guy. You know? Like, I don't want him to look at my kid. I'll be at the park with my kid, and I'm getting looked at funny by like nannies or grandparents or something, you know? It's like, I'm just a dad, a dude hanging out with his kid, man. Like, I am no different than you. Like, we breathe the same air.
Yeah, I definitely can definitely tell, like, when I'm just wearing t-shirt and pants, and when people see me with that, oh shit, you're like, you have tattoos, you don't look like the type. I'm like, no, I guess not.
Sweater weather's fun, you
Yeah.
know, where you're bundled up, like, even with a hood on, you don't see any of my tattoos, because I don't have my face tattooed. You know, sometimes my hands will poke out, but for the most part, then you're like,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess one thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, I've witnessed it myself at the shop where people are surprised that it costs so much to get a tattoo. Why does it cost, like, I see it as an investment, but why, what would you say, like, hey, why does it cost like $100 when it's like a couple lines or something?
There's a few different, like, aspects you can look at it, depending on how you want to break it down for cost for people. People go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on paintings to put in their house. If their house burns down, they're not going to take the painting with them. Artwork on your body is never going to leave you, you know, so it is an investment. Like, you're paying good money. There's shops that you're going to go to and you're going to pay, you know, a little bit of money and you're not going to get the greatest tattoo. You're paying for the knowledge and the experience that, like, we know what we're doing. We've been doing it for so long. I personally have been tattooing almost 8 years, and I've spent 8 years learning almost every single day to not give you an infection, not to cross-contaminate, to make sure that the application of the tattoo is done to like the most professional standards where I'm not chewing up your skin, I'm not damaging your skin, giving you keloids, you know, there's so much that goes in. There's a lot of education, and honestly, $120 an hour is what we charge. There's other shops that charge $200 an hour. There are people who charge $1,000 an hour because they think they can, you know, like, good for them. I'm never gonna charge $1,000 an hour, I promise you that. But $120 is fair because in the end also, we're splitting that. The shop needs to survive, needs to get the rent paid, keep the electricity on. All the bills get paid by us giving a percentage of what we make to the shop. So, you know, whatever the cut between the artist and the shop is, you give me $120 for that 1 hour tattoo I just gave you, I'm walking home with $120, you know?
Tipping is also very recommended.
Yeah.
If you'd like.
What happens in our industry is, people make appointments with you and don't show up, and if they don't show up, I'm not making money to provide for my family that day, I'm not, you know, we're not gonna eat that night because, you know, something else more important than getting a tattoo came up. Sometimes clients don't look at it as like, oh wow, this is this guy's career.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
$120 an hour is like pretty decent, I would say. You know.
Also to get a deposit.
Deposit money, yeah. You leave me a little bit of money, you guaranteed a spot. You're guaranteed to get tattooed at the date and time that you want, and it guarantees I'm gonna do my end of the thing by drawing what you want.
And that money goes towards a tattoo, it's not an extra on top, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You give me $40 and I'll give it back to you when you come get. It's like, show me you're gonna come back. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep that $40.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we give 10% discount for students.
10% for Army, for students, teachers, faculty of CSUN as well. Yeah, we do specials. We do Friday the 13th deals.
That's coming up.
No.
No?
We don't have a Friday the 13th, I think, until next year, like next October.
Someone said there's a Friday.
We've got a Halloween event that we're gonna be doing. We're gonna have a guest artist in town.
Oh, you're right, that's Saturday.
That's Saturday, October 13th.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a guest artist in town. We're gonna be doing an event. We're gonna have another event coming in that I can't really talk about yet because all the details haven't been finalized.
That's awesome, yeah.
But we're always doing things. We have a
Yeah.
daily special board
Check it
where
out.
you can get like a $300 tattoo for $150 if we have time.
Gumball machine.
Yeah, we do a lot of deals. It's best to make an appointment if you want to get a tattoo on a specific date and time. We take as many walk-ins as we can, but sometimes we can't guarantee that you're gonna get in. Some people do get upset, but you know, there's not really much we can do.
Cool. Which shop are you currently at?
I'm at One Truth Tattoo on Nordhoff and Lindley, right across from the CSUN Performing Arts Center.
Nice, nice. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Nacho_tattoo and also at One Truth Tattoo.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Vaughn.